کسی نے کوفے کے رستے میں دیے شہ کو خبر، کسی نے کوفے کے رستے میں دیے شہ کو خبر، کہ قتل ہو گئے مسلم اور ان کے دونوں پہ سر، نہ جائیں آپ بھی، نہ جائیں آپ بھی اس سمت کو تو ہے بہتر، تب اس سے کہنے لگے رو کے شاہ جنوں بشر، اجل رسیدہ منمی ورم بکر بلا، اجل رسیدہ منمی ربم بکر بلا، گزشت نوبت مسلم رسیدہ نوبت کسی نے کوفے کے محمد
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد ان شاء الله.
مرثی کی چند بند جناب مسلم کے حوالے سے آپ کو کوفے میں داخلہ سفیر امام کا، تعظیم سے خمیدہ ہے سرخواہ سوام کا، گھر گھر میں غلغلہ ہے درود و سلام کا، جو شخص ہے مجسمہ ہے تیرا ہم کا، بیعت کا قصد ہے جو امام عرب کے ساتھ، ارے مسلم کے ہاتھ چومتے ہیں سب ادب کے ساتھ، تنہا کی جنگ دشمنوں کے دل ہلا گئی، 1500 سورماؤں جوانوں کو کھا گئی ابن زیاد کو جو مدد کی صدا گئی چہرے پہ روسیاں کے زردی سی چھا گئی بولا چلاؤ تیغنا ہاشم کے شیر پر مکرو دغا کے وار کرو اس دلیر پر مکرو دغا کے وار کرو اس دلیر پر آمادہ مکر پر ہوئے مکار و نابکار کوٹھوں سے پھینکنے لگے پتھر ستم شیار کرتے تھے دور دور سے تیغو تبر کے وار انگارے مارتے تھے کہیں چھپ کے اہل نار کہا کہ زخم نہ دے علی پڑھتے جاتے تھے ارے مسلم جہاد کرتے ہوئے بڑھتے جاتے تھے گرتے ہی ان پہ کرنے لگے باد شعار وار افسوس ایک جسم حزین پر ہزار وار مظلوم پر جو ہو رہے تھے بار بار وار غش آ گیا سہے نہ گئے بے شمار وار نرے دشمن تے گرد چاہنے والے نے نہ تھے قریب ہو کر قریب گود کے پالے نہ تھے قریب ہو کر قریب گود کے پالے نہ تھے غریب پاتے ہی حکم حاکم بدکار و بدعمل بالائے بام لے گئے حضرات کو چاند یل چھت سے زمین پہ پھینک دیا سر کے بل پہنچے ادھر زمین پہ ادھر آ گئی اجل سر نظر کر کے ابن زیاد شریر کو ارے ملون کھینچے پھرتے تھے لاشیں سفیر کو کوفے میں داخلہ ہے سفیر امام کا مولا کوئی غم نہ دے آپ نے وہ سوائے غم حسین کے صلو علی محمد و آل محمد
اللہم صلی علی محمد و آل محمد Inshallah, before I invite Maulana's busy members, just a couple of reminders for tomorrow. We'll be starting the Eid namaz with takbirat and dua al-nutwa at 9 in the morning. And inshallah, Eid salat will start sharp at 9:30. Right after that, inshallah, we'll have brunch and breakfast and celebration of the Eid like we've done in prior years. Inshallah, as we commemorate the Shahadat of Hazrat Muslim ibn Aqil, we are honored to have Maulana Hussain Walji among us again, and we are honored that he's joined us here in Phoenix, away from his family during this time. We're grateful as always, and inshallah, Allah bless him and his family for all the efforts. Inshallah, he'll be leading the prayers tomorrow as well. Inshallah, if any of your friends and others who do not know, please pass on the word. With that, inshallah, I'll invite Maulana Walji to the member with the loud salawat.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
अला जा रहा हूँ मैं नाना, भूखे प्यासे बहत्तर चले हैं, सर हथेली पे रख कर चले हैं, हश्र में आबे कौसर पिलाना, करबला जा रहा हूँ मैं नाना, एक सजदा मैं ऐसा करूँगा जिसको महशर में पूरा करूँगा, सर कयामत के दिन है उठाना, करबला जा रहा हूँ मैं नाना। पर मोहम्मद वाले मोहम्मद सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम रहमल्लाहु मुनकर अल-फातिहा। أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. بسم الله وبالله وصلى الله على محمد وآله وأفوض أمري إلى الله. إن الله بصير بالعباد. الحمد لله الذي هدانا لهذا وما كنا لنهتدي لولا أن هدانا الله. لقد جاءت رسل ربنا بالحق، والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين أبي القاسم محمد. اللهم صل على محمد. روحي وجسمي وارواح العالمين لك الفداء يا ابن رسول الله. ثم السلام عليكم يا أهل الأزاء الحسين جميعا ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل لا أسألكم إليه أجرا إلا المودة في القربى. صدق الله العلي العظيم. صلوات.
صل على محمد وآل محمد.
We pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that all those Hajis who are going for Hajj, may Allah accept their Hajj and may Allah bring them all safely back home. We pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us all an opportunity to be on the day of Arafaat, inshallah, in Mecca, and also to give us the opportunity to go for the ziyarat of Aimma Masumin alayhi salam. If we look at 28th of Rajab was the day when Imam Hussein alayhi salam and his family left Medina. They left Medina and they reached Mecca on the 3rd of Shaban. It's amazing if you ever been to Medina and Mecca today, it takes less than 5 hours to get there. But in those times, of course, everything was on the foot and everything was on the camels and horses. Today, where the Niyyah is done in Medina, because Niyyah actually, when you look at Hajj, the highest recommendation is to do your ihram in the holy, outside of just the holy Kaaba. But because of the crowd and all that has changed over the years, and we do this Niyyah of going for Hajj, wearing our ihram, to go to Mecca at Masjid al-Shajara, that is known as actually also Masjid al-Hussein alayhi salam. This was the masjid where Imam starts his trip towards Mecca. He reaches there on 3rd of Shaban, which was the day of his birth. And he takes everybody with him. Of course, Muslim ibn Aqil was along with him. Muslim's family was with him. On the 15th of the holy month of Ramadan, Imam calls Hazrat Muslim and said, I would like you to go to Kufa. I would like you to look at the conditions in Kufa. Why? Because Imam had received 18,000 letters from the Kufians saying that we are in a lot of difficulty and we need, Imam, your help so that you can come and help us out here. And so the letters were sent. Imam read each and every letter. And then he says to Hazrat Muslim, why don't you go as my ambassador, as my Safir, go to Kufa and check the situation out in Kufa. He goes there. When he arrives there, more than 20,000 people started to come to the mosque of Kufa, where he was standing and taking allegiance towards Imam Hussein alayhi salam. You know, we can look at this history and we can say, what is wrong with these Kufians? What was wrong with these Kufians? But more important for us is to place ourselves in Kufa. You place yourself in Kufa and you are among those who has written the letter to Abu Abdullah Hussein. Would you be doing the same thing that these Kufians did or not? It's important for us to think of ourselves, analyze who are we, what are we, where are we heading for. When Yazid came to know, he had a man called Sir John. He was a Christian. He was his advisor. He said, do you know what is happening in Kufa? Muslim has arrived and he's taking allegiance from the people of Kufa. And so when he talked to him, he said, I would recommend that you have Ibn Ziyad there. Make him the governor of Kufa. Yazid and Ibn Ziyad never got along. They never got along. They hated each other. But he thought that he was probably the most ruthless individual. So why not make him the head of Kufa? He makes him the head of Kufa. And now, history tells us that the irony was that Ibn Ziyad comes into Kufa wearing the clothes that just the way Imam Hussein alayhi salam used to wear. Why? Because they had never seen Imam Hussein alayhi salam. So to deceive the eyes of the people of Kufa, he dresses up like Imam Hussein. And he enters into the city of Kufa and he starts to put fear in the hearts and minds of the people. There comes a time, and we know that Imam Hussein alayhi salam was getting ready to leave Mecca. But he thought, let me finish my Hajj and then I will go towards Karbala. The thing we need to understand is Arafat is a very important word, Arafat. Arafat comes from the word Araba. And Araba means to recognize. Why? Because when Hazrat Adam and Hawa were asked to leave Jannah, they became separated, completely separated. For how many years? For 40 years. They were separated. And at that moment, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wanted to bring them together. So He asks them to come to the mountain of Arafat. Today, millions of people must have left the city of Arafat, the town of Arafat, the mountain of Arafat. But this Arafat is the single most important act of Hajj. I can miss Mina. I can miss any action of Hajj for whatever reason. But if I don't stay in Arafat that one night, my Hajj is batil. It won't be accepted. That's why this Hajj is called Hajjul Arafah. This was the reason why Imam Hussein alayhi salam goes to Arafat. And then he changes his niyyah from wajib to umrah. And he leaves for Karbala on the 9th of Zulhijjah. That's why it's very important for us to understand this history. When you look at Adam and Hawa, when they came together on the mountain of Arafat, at that time, they were supposed to recognize each other because they were separated for 40 years. So when they came together, they looked at each other to start to recognize who they were. When we go to Arafat, and I pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that particularly if you have not been there, that may Allah give you that opportunity of Arafat. Because when we go to Arafat, what do we have to do in Arafat? Of course, Dua Kumail is recited, and many other du'as are recited, and including this dua of Arafaat by Abu Abdullah al-Hussein alayhi salam. This particular dua is said in history that it was an instant dua between him and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Instant. It wasn't that he was sitting somewhere and he wrote it down, that he thought about it and let me put this thing down. That wasn't the case. Imam is standing on the Mount of Arafat and talking to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and the whole dua that we see was his discussion with his Lord. And beautiful, beautiful dua. Problem is because of timing and all that, but it's a dua that one should read throughout the year at some point, a little bit at a time, to understand what is he talking to God about. Because he says in this dua, what have I lost when I have found you, Ya Allah? What have I lost? And he said, what have I gained when I have lost you, Ya Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? He's teaching us that no matter what, in your life, the single most important thing is your connection with your Lord. If you stay connected with your Lord, you will stay connected with everybody. If you disconnect from Him, you get disconnected. And that is very, very important. In the namaz, there are two actions. When Imam al-Radha alayhi salam was asked, it's a beautiful question Imam was asked. He said, why do we do takbiratul ihram in namaz? To start, we have to say takbiratul ihram. Takbir. The moment we say Allahu Akbar to start our prayers, we are connected to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and we are disconnected with the rest of the world. The moment we say that. That is why it is called ihram. Why? Because when we go to Hajj, and once you have made the niyyah of ihram, you are disconnected with everything. You cannot do anything except that which Allah wants to do with Him. That's it. So you are now connected. I said Allahu Akbar. I cannot have my cell phone. Remember. I cannot have my cell phone and look at it and say Allahu Akbar. My namaz is batil. Because this is that foundation that starts the namaz. And because you find people, they take it very easy. They say Allahu Akbar and the phone rings. And you will see literally people kneeling down to shut off the phone. You can't do that. Because that is the single most important rukn of namaz. It's a foundation. So the moment you say Allahu Akbar, you are disconnected with the rest of the world. Nothing is there now. It is you and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But when you finish the namaz, you convey salams. Assalamu alayka ayyuhan nabiyyu wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Assalamu alayna wa ala ibadillahi as-salihin. Assalamu alaykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Imam alayhi salam says that when you said Allahu Akbar, you disconnected yourself from the rest of the world. But now that you are entering back into the world, you are now supposed to say salam before you enter. That is the philosophy of namaz. The start and the finish. You disconnect and you reconnect again. And how do you reconnect? By conveying your salams to everybody. This is the beauty of it. So when you look at Arafah, when you say recognition, they were supposed to recognize themselves. The thing is that when we are in Arafah, we are told that recognize yourself, because if you don't recognize yourself, you have not completed your Hajj. How do I recognize myself? What do I do to recognize myself? Allah at that time reminds the human being, Allah says that when you have on the day of Arafat, the action we should take is a very important action, is to recognize myself by understanding what are the sins that I had committed. That's how you recognize yourself. Recognize it. And take a piece of paper and a pen and write down every sin that you could remember. Write it down. Why? Because, and after you have written it, you fold it and you bury it in the land of Arafat. In Surah Al-Isra, in the Holy Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that on the day of judgment, all of your actions will be folded and it will be hanged on your neck. All of those actions, good deeds, sins, everything. But the beauty of Arafat is that when I bury that into that grave of it, and I leave that, then Allah says on the day of Qiyamah, when you stand up, all the sins that you have mentioned that you have done will be gone. Those sins will not exist anymore. That is why we are told that when you finish Hajj and you come back home, you are as clean as a person who has just been born. यूं तो कहते हैं कि मर जाएंगे हम, मरकर भी अगर चैन न पाया तो कहां जाएंगे हम. So you understand that is what transpires, and you recognize yourself by thinking, who am I? What am I? One of the recommendations is also that you talk to your brother there. Find out where is he coming from. What is he doing? You cannot isolate yourself. You cannot say, I don't want to do anything. No. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that when you will go into your qabr, and when Munkar and Nakir will come, they will ask you the question, they will say, record it. They'll tell you to record it. You will tell the angel, how am I supposed to write? I don't have a pen. And the angels will say, use your finger. You will say, I don't have paper. The angels will say, look at your coffin. That is your piece of paper. That is why it is white in color. And you sit and you write down each of your... And you may think that, you know what, how am I going to remember this? How am I going to remember all those good? You see, when we do the bigger sins, we cannot forget. Yes, if I was jealous with someone, or I hit somebody, but if I do something worse, like zina, or I am a person, I'm a lady with hijab, that I have done sins, those things you don't forget. Major sins you will remember. Minor sins, it's the hardest thing to remember. But this is where we have to understand that you are there, you are being given. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is consistently giving us an opportunity to seek forgiveness. Consistently. In namaz, we consistently say, forgive me, forgive me, forgive me. The Holy Prophet said that when somebody recites just salawat even one time, his gunah is forgiven. His sins are forgiven. But let that salawat come from the bottom of your heart. And let you understand that who am I conveying this salawat to? So you are to recognize. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that the next day is the day of Qiyamah. When we are there, we will finish the day of Arafaat. After we have spent a night, then we will go to Muzdalifah. And that is where you will start to pick up the pebbles. Pebbles, not rocks, pebbles. 70 of them. You pick up 70 of them, but you're only supposed to hit 21. That's the requirement. With each of those shaitan that you see there, you're supposed to hit each one 7 times. In these millions of people who are standing, this is one of the most remarkable things you'll find, that in the millions of people you are standing, you pick your stone, and you're not that close, you're still far away. When you hit that shaitan, you will be able to see your stone exactly where it's going to go. It isn't that it's going to get mixed in the crowd. That's the beauty of it. That all these people are there and you are able to watch exactly where your stone is going. Today, they have walls now. During the time I went, there were pillars. Each pillar was representing shaitan. Today they put walls. And one of the reasons we take those smaller pebbles is because when you start to hit, you may miss that pillar. And you may hit another human being on the other side. You understand? So that is the whole concept. And that concept is what? That I am removing. Mawla Kainat Hazrat Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam. He was told to remove the idols in the Holy Kaaba. And he did that. The problem with humans is that he removed the idols from inside the Kaaba. We created those idols in our own hearts. The only person who knows who I am, what I am, is me, myself, and my God. That is it. Nobody knows. When I'm doing my dua, I don't share that with anybody. Even my wife doesn't know what dua I'm doing. My children don't know. Nobody knows. Why? Because it is strictly between me and my God. You understand? So when that second day comes, Allah is saying that now you will remember the day of judgment. And when you look at that holy man, it makes you understand how and why Arafat is so important. Because it is also known as the day of forgiveness. We recited this dua. Hadith says that a person who recites that dua and the people who recite that dua and follow that dua, they are as good as sitting near the Mount of Arafat reciting that dua. They get the benefit of that you were right there. You did that dua. When the Hajjis finish their Hajj in these 3 days, when they finish their Hajj, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will instruct the angels, go and congratulate all the Hajjis who are there for finishing their Hajj. But He gives extra instruction to those angels. He said, before you go and thank the Hajjis, go to Karbala and thank the Zawars of Karbala. Because had it not been for Karbala, Makkah would have not existed. This is what Allah is reminding us. And you know, the single most important day to be in the Zari of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein is the day of Arafat. It is the single most important day. If you ever get the opportunity, don't ever miss it. Because there is no other day on the calendar to be in Karbala. Yes, there are makhsus days, like the 15th of Shaban and Eid al-Fitr and Chahlum. But the single most important day is the day of Arafat. That you are being thanked for being there on the day of Arafat by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He's thanking you for being there. That is what Imam is showing, that when he starts his trip, he could have left from Makkah, he could have done his niyat and left. He didn't have to go to Arafat, because when we go to Umrah, we don't go to Arafat. But he showed the importance of it. And he goes through Arafat, and then he starts to move on these dates towards Karbala. When Muslim ibn Aqil reaches Kufa, he thought people were with him. Not an issue. But as people were threatened, it is said that he would lead the prayer, he would see thousands of people behind him, and a time comes when he looks back, there is nobody left. He had 4 sons and 1 daughter. His wife was the daughter of Imam Ali alayhi salam, Ruqayyah. His daughter's name was Atika, which was the name of the daughter of Hazrat Muslim. 2 sons, the daughter and his wife, remained with Imam Hussein. He took Muhammad and Ibrahim with him to Kufa. But in all this mess that was going on in Kufa, he loses track of his 2 sons. Just imagine how difficult it must have been. You know, if I am a traveler and I go to a town where I don't know anybody, that is not easy to be in that town. When I don't know what am I going to do. He was left alone. Everybody felt betrayed. So Muslim is the first Shaheed of Karbala, because the purpose for what he went was for Karbala. He comes there, he finds himself in a very difficult situation. He then starts to look for a house that could give him refuge. And there was a lady called Tawa. She invites him because she knew who Muslim was. She was a believer of Ali ibn Abi Talib. The problem was that his son was not. Her son was not a believer. So when he comes late, but the reason, as the Muslim says to that lady, he says, if you can let me into your house at least for 1 night. Because the most important thing for me is to do namaz tahajjud. I want to finish my namaz sham if you allow me to come inside. He goes inside. And at night the son comes and the mother says, where were you? He said, oh, well, you know, I'm looking for Muslim ibn Aqil because I'm supposed to receive a reward if I can find out where he is. He noticed that his mother was going into a room to serve someone. And then he realized that was Muslim ibn Aqil. He sends a message. First they sent 300 officers to attack him, but Muslim was a ferocious fighter. 2 times he defeated 300, and then they sent 300, but then they dug a trench. And as the Muslim was walking, he fell into that trap and he fell into a hole. They started to hit him with stones. They arrested him and they took him out of that hole and they were walking away. When he turned to a man, he said, can you get me some water? I am very thirsty. That man brought some water. Muslim brought it close to his mouth and the drops of blood from his lips. started to fall into that water. And as soon as he tried, the man tried 3 times. Muslim did not have the opportunity to drink water. He was among the first who died without drinking water before he died. And then they took him to Ibn Ziyad, and there was a conversation, but the time comes when they took him to the roof of Darul Ammara. He was on the roof. Abbas looked at Hussein on the way. He thought Imam was really disturbed, and he asked Imam, "Why are you so disturbed?" He said, "Abbas, come near me and look through my 2 fingers. I will show you." Abbas said, "Aqa, it looks like there's a desperate person on the roof of this Darul Ammara and is being killed." Hussein said, "Abbas, that is not an ordinary person. I want you to closely look at it." Abbas looked at it and said, "Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un." Abbas said, "I did see Muslim, but who is that woman who was sitting on the floor?" Imam said, "Abbas, that is my mother, Fatima Zahra." ألا لعنة الله على القوم الظالمين. ماتوا में हुसैन.
Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, ग़म-ए हुसैन मनाना बहुत ज़रूरी है। 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 ग़म-ए हुसैन मनाना ज़रूरी है। ग़म-ए हुसैन मनाना ज़रूरी है। अरे रहे नजात में खुर्शीद जिंदगी के लिए, बका के वास्ते खालिक की बंदगी के लिए, जहालतों के अंधेरों में रोशनी के लिए, जहालतों के अंधेरों में रोशनी के लिए, हुसैन शाम जलाना बहुत ज़रूरी है। ग़म-ए हुसैन मनाना, मौला सलामत रखे। ग़म-ए हुसैन मनाना
وہ جس میں اصغر معصوم کا تبسم ہے، وہ جس میں اشکوں کا سیلاب ہے تلاطم ہے، وہ جس میں آخری شبیر کی صدا گم ہے، وہ جس میں آخری شبیر کی صدا گم ہے، وہ داستان سنانا بہت ضروری ہے، غم حسین منانا ضروری ہے، غم حسین منانا ضروری ہے۔ یہ وہ حسین ہے جو فخر ابن آدم ہے، کہ جس کے زیر قدم فتح دو عالم ہے، اسی حسین کے غم میں یہ شور ماتم ہے، اسی حسین کے غم میں یہ شور ماتم ہے، یہ بات سب کو بتانا بہت ضروری ہے، غم حسین منانا بہت ضروری ہے، غم حسین منانا ضروری ہے۔ ارے وہ جس نے دین بچایا ہے کربلا کر، وہ جس نے آخری سجدہ کیا تہے خنجر، وہ جس کے در پہ فرشتے جھکا رہے ہیں سر، وہ جس کے در پہ فرشتے جھکا رہے ہیں سر اس کے در پہ جھکانا بہت ضروری ہے، غم حسین منانا بہت ضروری ہے، غم حسین منانا بہت ضروری ہے۔ کیا حسین 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 کیا حسین
اللہم صلی علی محمد وآل محمد متوجہ زیارت۔
السلام علیک یا رسول اللہ، السلام علیک یا امیر المؤمنین، السلام علیک یا فاطمة الزہراء سیدۃ النساء العالمین، السلام علیک یا حسن المجتمع، السلام علیک یا ابا عبد اللہ الحسین، السلام علیک یا علی ابن الحسین ومحمد ابن علی وجعفر ابن محمد وموسى ابن جعفر وعلي ابن موسى ومحمد ابن علي وعلي ابن محمد والحسن ابن علي، السلام عليك يا صاحب العصر والزمان، الأمان الأمان الأمان، السلام عليك يا خليفة الرحمن، السلام عليك يا شريك القرآن، السلام عليك يا كعبة الإيمان، السلام عليك يا إمام الإنس والجان، أجل الله تعالى فرجك وسهل الله تعالى مخرجك وظهورك وجعلنا من أنصاره ورحمة الله وبركاته.
So we are going to do the Maghrib and Isha Salat inshallah. So if you guys have to do your wudu, go ahead and do that. We'll start in about a couple of minutes inshallah.
سبحان الله والحمد لله ولا إله إلا الله